Tom Silver, and I am a scientific clinical hypnotherapist. And I'm very excited about going to Rome, Italy to teach my courses in advanced scientific hypnosis, specializing in EEG hypnotherapy, ERT emotion replacement therapy, and also my wonderful, powerful methods of inducing the most deepest receptive states of low brainwave frequencies that we call theta and delta, which is the ability to deeply hypnotize people to help them remove obstacles standing in the way of their health and their happiness and their life. In this training course, I will be teaching the methods to remove negative habits, negative emotions, such as stress and tension and worry, drug addiction, alcoholism, also techniques to stop smoking and to lose weight, and the other deepening techniques that's really proficient and powerful in producing very long-term results. Now I want to introduce my wife, Suzanne Silver, and I want you to hear Suzanne's story because Suzanne had struggled with depression for about 30 years, and she was on anti-anxiety medicines, and she really wasn't feeling well until I started working with her with this pioneering technique called ERT, emotion replacement therapy. So Suzanne, could you tell everybody your story, please?
I am someone who became a very depressed individual at the young age of 13 years old. This depression turned chronic and it was extreme. I went through all of my teenage years, for the most part, being extremely depressed. I went into my young adult years being even more depressed. It wasn't until I was 26 years old, 13 years later, that finally a doctor realized the difficulty I was going through, and at that point in time prescribed antidepressant drugs. From that time forward, I was on antidepressants for over 20 years. Over 20 years of using antidepressant medication. Doctor after doctor told me I would never be able to go off it. As a matter of fact, right from the start, the man told me I probably would never be able to go off antidepressants. That this was the way my life would be, and I accepted that. The problem with antidepressants is that they stop working. In other words, the doctors would put me on an antidepressant and it would work for a while, and then suddenly I'd feel pretty bad again. And so then they'd prescribe a different antidepressant. And this vicious cycle continued. And it continued for a very long period of time. Now, eventually, I met Tom, which was a wonderful thing to do. He's a good man.
Thank you.
Tom, right from the start, was explaining to me that he had developed ERT and that he felt ERT would help the depression that I was dealing with. I poo-pooed it. After all, doctors have told me right and left all of my adult life that I'd have to be on antidepressants forever. And so I also did not believe that this therapy would help me. I didn't believe it would work for me. Well, during this time, my antidepressant drug of the time had stopped working, and so the doctor put me on another drug. That drug was pretty intense. You've heard all of the commercials that say, if you start feeling suicidal, call your doctor immediately. I think every single one of them has that disclaimer. They also try to tell you that that's the case with teenagers and young adults. Well, I can tell you that that's not the case. I had been on many different antidepressants. The one they changed me to caused extreme suicidal thoughts. Now understand, as a severely depressed person throughout my life, I had had those thoughts many times. It happens with chronically depressed people. However, I always knew it was wrong. I always knew that I would hurt people if I did it, and I always stayed away and never went down that road. But this new drug was something else. This new drug, it would work for about 26 days in the month, about that. And I'd be fine, I'd feel good, feel great, as a matter of fact. Then there were these other few days, 2, sometimes 4, that not only did suicide sound like a an idea to stop the pain, suicide made sense. Literally, it made sense. It took away my, oh, I'm going to hurt somebody. Oh, no, 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 no. It made sense to take my life. Oh, everybody will be better off without me. Think of all these great things that will happen to them if I'm not here. It made sense to plan something out and to eventually think about doing it. It was the most horrifying thing in the world because it finally broke down that one last barrier to not commit suicide. Well, of course, we went to the doctor, he changed my medication, and we went down that road again. Well, fortunately, the suicidal thoughts stopped and the medication worked for a while, and then it stopped. Just like all the others, it stopped. I came home one day and I told Tommy, I don't want to go through this anymore. I can't deal with this anymore. You keep saying we should try ERT on me. Let's try it. I still didn't believe it would work. I mean, really, doctors are telling me, oh, you can only use drugs, it's only gonna work. I still didn't believe it, but I was desperate and I wanted a change. So we tried ERT. And I can tell you, the change in my life is phenomenal, extreme, long-term, and very, very positive. I haven't used antidepressants in over a year and a half. In that time, my mind and my brain has learned to function correctly. And it's this very method of ERT that taught it. Think about it. When someone has been chronically depressed all of their lives, or the majority of their lives, the brain learns to work incorrectly. It becomes the norm. It becomes normal to not have the right production of the chemicals that make us feel good. The brain can learn to work incorrectly, but the brain can be retaught to work correctly. That is what this therapy can do. ERT works, and it's long-term because it teaches the person how to take hold of this chemical process in their body. It teaches them how to recognize if it's not working and help figure out how to make it work. It teaches them to recognize if the chemical imbalance is beginning and gives you exercises that are very, very fast, very, very easy, and that work almost instantaneously. ERT works.
I'm real excited about going to Rome, Italy. The dates of the training course are October 7th through the 9th. 3 days of hands-on techniques, methods that work. They're scientifically proven. I've been a scientific therapist for over 27 years. I have created methods and techniques that have been proven successful. Suzanne has seen the results. She knows how powerful it was. Even before we started the work with her to remove extreme or clinical depression, she was skeptical, but the results speak for themselves, don't they, Suzanne?
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
Her quality of life is fantastic. So you can go to the website. You can also go to my website, tomsilver.com, and look at the information on the training course and my background as a scientific hypnotherapist for over 26 years. I have a gold plate of honor from the Taiwan Department of Defense for my work in the new technological scientific applications of ERT, emotion replacement therapy, and neurological scientific hypnotism. So I urge every person, every practitioner, every healing arts therapist to attend this wonderful training course so you can learn techniques that I have developed with my 26 to 27 years of life experience that I'm going to present to you. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to actually have hands-on training in every one of these methods, and you'll also be certified from my institute, the United States Board of Clinical Hypnosis and the Hypnosis Foundation. If you're a medical doctor, if you're a psychotherapist, if you're a psychologist or a psychiatrist, if you're a hypnotherapist or any other type of healing therapy practitioner, I invite you to my 3 days of hands-on training, October 7th through the 9th in Rome, Italy. And you'll be learning the most advanced scientific neurological techniques of hypnotherapy, of ERT, emotion replacement therapy, and EEG, brainwave frequency monitoring, which is a wonderful diagnostic tool to use in every hypnotherapy practice. I'm Tom Silver, scientific neurological hypnotherapist and founder of ERT, Emotion Replacement Therapy, and I'll see you at the training course in Rome, Italy, October 7th through the 9th. Thank you.